At the beginning of this video, I'd like you to like this video for range, subscribe to this channel and support my channel through PayPal. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Thank you. We live in a world that is full of lies and illusions. Actually, the world that we live in is much more complex than what people can imagine, and actually we live in the universe that is of frequencies, vibrations and energies that we actually resonate with and that we are drawn to through what we are actually and what we think of, what our emotions are at the moment. And the reality of this world is quite substantial to how we operate on certain frequencies that we do go on with day by day. And in reality, a lot of people actually live in the simulation, and they not only don't know it, but they shouldn't accept it when they actually get to know the reality of it. So how does this simulation work? So when you are in a low vibrational state, on a lower frequency, what happens is that you are more prone to be manipulated, because a lot of people actually are not themselves at all, and they are in this simulation because of the low vibration, because of what they believe in, because of what they eat, because of what they do, because of they are not connected to their higher selves, and this is their own path and it is accepted by their higher selves. But the higher selves want always to connect to certain souls so that they are a little bit of guided, but actually are much more powerful through being connected to their higher selves. So how does it actually work is that when they are not connected to the higher self, when they are not connected to the source, what happens is that they are simulated. They are still souls, but not always. There are people here on this planet who are not souls anymore because they've lost their souls completely. And they're simply just these bio-robots that operate on certain frequencies. And this is how it works. So when they are in the lower vibrational state, the people, they are in this simulation, so-called 3D. And they cannot see through the illusions because they believe in all the bullshit that is spread around them through the media, through the corporations, through the governments, through other people, and they believe in this bullshit so that they don't know actually that the free will is the key to their liberation. So they do not know that they are enslaved actually. And when it happens is that they operate on programs, and programs mostly operate on lower frequency, on lower vibration. And Hawkins map, it is called beyond 200, actually it is even lower, beyond 100, and they don't know it, and they think it is a normal state of mind of human being. So they do not want to simply acknowledge the fact that they are wrong. And this simulation works like this. There's a lot of mind control around the planet, but there are also parallel dimensions, parallel worlds, subtle worlds, let's say, in which there are beings that are non-physical, or they are unrecognizable mostly for people. And they are also in this simulation mostly. And what happens is that there is a scenario of life that is being put on every human being's life so that they can experiment. Sometimes they get abducted by aliens for certain purposes, and because of that, what happens is that they get stuck. And these programs on low vibrational state, when they are lower vibrational state, these human beings, they do operate on this scenario, because these programs actually create the reality or recreate their thoughts in that essence. and then they are in 3D. So they are on this lower timeline. There are higher timelines than 3D, but it is actually a state of mind. And because of that, they play certain roles that have been orchestrated on them, and they cannot get out of it. So what do they have to do is they have to wake up to realize that this is the simulation, that this is how they live, and they have to consciously change their habits, their thinking, their thoughts. And this is sometimes very critical to the evolution of them, so that they can connect the higher self and the source, so that they generate their own energy and they do not need to steal it. How does it actually work also is that they do not know that there is a main reality on this planet, which is much more important than this simulation, let's say. And because of that, what happens is that they need to see the reality. So they are being simulated to actually play these roles, but they can get out of it by the recognition of the simulation. It changes the frequency, it changes the thinking, because the thoughts create the reality, and that's true. And actually, this is not as hard as a reality as the 3D. And what happens then is actually the vibration changes when they connect their higher selves, when they connect with this more 5D-like consciousness. And then they start to actually see the illusion on the illusion, layer on the layer on the layer of this bullshit. So they need to keep this higher vibrational state of being. This is mostly done through healing of the wounds, through recognition of what was wrong before. And actually, this is important for us to heal on this journey, because we believe in bullshit, and actually a lot of people are being manipulated by these beings that are in the subtle world, but that we do not see. And also, the simulation is far more beyond Earth. This is far more beyond Earth, and actually it contains a lot through a lot of planets. It contains a lot of planets, and actually in different galaxies, on different dimensions, because they wanted to keep people in 3D. 3D is a state of mind of enslavement. The 3D planet is an enslaved planet, and that's why there's a lot of fighting over now around the planet and on the planet, and in different galaxies, and even in different universes, through the timelines. And when we do understand that time does not exist, it changes the reality. When we get out of this scenario of life, what happens is actually we get more in touch with our true identity and with all of the truth that is all around us. And it requires actually a lot of hard work to be done inside of us, and to keep ourselves more in touch with our higher selves. Sometimes higher selves actually want us to do something and we do not see it. What it actually means is that when we see these illusions, what starts to happen is that we evolve. Our frequency changes. And we get out of this matrix and we start to operate differently. And then we see that the system is all just an illusion. It's a simulation for those who actually wanted to see how this reality works before they incarnated here a lot of thousands of years ago. And what happens is that this simulation has its expiration date. And then when we realize what it was, actually, we start to dig deeper deeper into this reality, to see the true reality. And the true reality is actually a very different reality. So the main reality is also about evolution, but also it contains a lot of synchronicities. And we then do realize that we have to unlock our potential, unlock our abilities, change our behavior, change almost everything about us. And this is difficult because it requires leaving a lot of people, leaving a lot of situations, and leaving a lot of very nasty stuff behind us, and start to forget about a lot of stuff that actually were of bullshit. And that's how you get out of it. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Leave a like for range, subscribe to this channel, and support my work through PayPal. Thank you, and see you next time.